Alrighty. Are we ready? I'm ready. Until I'm cold. Also. That was the end of that one. No. I need to select, I think. Because I finished this one. Right? Yeah. Okay. Finish that one. I don't want to turn the heater down because it's cold. The heater is so loud.
Standing here in the bright sunshine, looking out over the vast ocean. Those days in London seem like a dream, but I do miss my time in England's vast capital. You know, he's flourished into a truly wonderful lawyer. I've no doubt that at this very moment he's fighting some noble cause in court. Forgive me for taking so long to come to visit you. My life has been such a whirlwind since I returned. And no one could have predicted what has happened. Just 2 months after arriving home.
That lady back again?
So I came here today to ask something of you. Tomorrow, I shall be standing in court. For the only time in my life. As a lawyer.
Go girl! Yes. Oh!
So please.
Swan Lady's dead.
Kazuma-sama.
Oh, are we gonna be playing as her? I have no complaints. That's a great way to start this game. Hold on, it is warm now. Hold on. Alright. Here I am again after 9 months, the Supreme Court of Judicature in Japan. I feel so nervous, but I must steel my nerves and find a way to compose myself. Ah, good, you're here. It doesn't do for a lawyer to be late. Oh, yes, good morning, sir. It's your dad. I hardly recognize you. You cut a fine figure, counsel. But you look as white as a sheet, and those wide eyes aren't doing you any favors either. Oh dear. The truth is, I'm so incredibly nervous. I feel utterly nauseated. Now for all the times you made fun of Inosuke, you know what it feels like. I'm so proud of her though. Girl boss. Queen over here. I almost wish that I'd never been born. Oh god, she's just as dramatic as always. God, that's better. Goodness, not the sort of thing a father hopes to hear from his daughter, I must say. Yujin Mikitoba, professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University, a man who earlier in his life traveled to Great Britain to study the latest advances in forensic medical science. And of course, my brilliant father. Excuse me. Would I be correct in thinking that you're to be my lawyer in court today? Oh, yes. Yes, that's right, miss. God, we thought Rudesuke was awkward. Susato is so awkward. I love her. The whole game gonna be from Susato's point of view because I'll take it. Well, I want to thank you for agreeing to represent me. I swear on my life. It is a complete fabrication, this whole thing. Ray Mbambi, oh my god, that's a name. Born the same year as I, and my greatest friend. Though unusual for women in her time, she works at the university research laboratory helping my father. Sadly, she's the defendant in today's trial, accused of committing a truly awful murder. You feeling alright? You started talking. You seem, well, to have become a little flush. Oh my, well, it's just that you look so gallant and dashing. Oh wait, is Susato dressed as a man? Wait a minute, I just realized that she wouldn't be able to be a lawyer unless she was dressed as a man. Because that wasn't really allowed. Sorry? When I fall under your intense gaze, well, it makes me feel rather bashful. We got some gay over here. Susato. Goodness, I don't think she knows. She hasn't realized who I am. Oh! She can't even tell it's Susato. I need to see what Susato looks like. It seems our little plan for this trial is going to work. Oh? What do you mean, Professor Mikotoba? It means Susato makes a hot-ass man! That's what the fuck it means! All these games with the cross-dressing, and it's so good, I want to see what she looks like! If even your best friend can't see through the disguise, I think we can relax. Disguise? Yes, I've never tried dressing this way before, of course, so I wasn't sure how convincing it would be. But this does make me feel a little relieved, as you say, Father. Father? No, I need to see her. I want to see what Susato looks like! Thank you for the sub, Jumpy. Susato is cross-dressing! You've come in at the best time! Susato starts off the story, and she's cross-dressing, and she's a lawyer. I can't... I haven't seen her yet, but I'm excited. Oh, the song's not supposed to go on that long. Oopsies. I need to fix that. Also, it's cold, so I decided to wear Majima's clothes. Just one of them. Is that you, Susato? Yeah, her best friend was hitting on her because apparently Susato looks hot as a man, and I need to see this. I need to be more gay. Please, gay. I'm so sorry I didn't say something sooner, Ray. It's just that... No, what are you doing? What's going on? What? What is this game? That varsity uniform, that varsity cap, that varsity cape, that varsity badge. Does she dress as Kazuma? Can't go a day without Majima. No, I can't. Look at you! You look all for the world like a student of the Imperial University. A male student. Can you show me what she looks like? I'm so glad you think so. It means all my preparations have been worthwhile. I woke at 4 this morning to make a start. Does it take you that long to dress as a dude? But I don't understand. Why are you dressed like that? Well, you see, it was the only way. The only way she would be permitted into the Supreme Court to take on your defense in this trial. My defense? I love that this first episode does not have Ryunosuke. I don't know why. I like Ryunosuke, but I really like Susato. Never before in my life have I felt so frustrated having born into this body. I know. I forgot this is the time where she can't be a lawyer because she's a woman. Killing it, though. I don't know what you look like, but I bet you're killing it. Please show me. She killed... Oh! Ray killed Shitty Haru! Apparently killed Shitty Haru. So, Ray should be your favorite character. She's my favorite character. She's adorable. Courts in Japan are barred to women. We're not even allowed to set foot inside the courtroom. Despite that fact, the laws of the land apply to all people, male and female alike. But women are forbidden, that's the point. Just for today, I'll be leaving my true self at the courtroom door. Susato! Nice one, Ray! So that I can act as your lawyer. Oh, Susato, you'd go to such lengths for me? We're best friends, apparently. Of course, you're my greatest friend. Just fuck Ryunosuke. Who the fuck cares about him? She hasn't mentioned one word about Ryunosuke. She's talked about Kazuma, and she's talked about this person we didn't know until right now. I just worry that I shan't be the lawyer you deserve. Oh no, I have complete faith in you, Ray. It's so strange, though. I mean, you're such an accomplished judicial assistant already. And yet, just because you're a woman... What a wretched reason, I agree. I mean, why shouldn't you be allowed in court? You're so gallant and dashing. Can I see what Susato looks like? Ray, please don't look at me like that with those flushed cheeks and doting eyes. I'm having some gay feelings for my best friend. Don't look at me. Oh, I'm sorry. They're so gay right now. Lawyer fees. It's just, you really do look so dashing. I'm getting flashback gay, and I'm not even part of the situation. Yeah, yes, you mentioned that once or twice. You guys are so fucking gay. And Dad's just sitting here not caring! You should be pleased. It means you look convincing as a man. Can I see? I am pleased, I think. It certainly helped to bolster my confidence today. Ray, you're managing to put on a brave face in all of this, but I can see through it. I've noticed how your shoulders are slumped and how you're trembling ever so slightly. Susato, you do believe me, don't you? I didn't do it. I couldn't have. I mean, murder? Of course. You have nothing to worry about. But your conscience is perfectly clean. Isn't that right? Yes. Yes, it is. Perfectly clean! I like this girl. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind about your innocence. Which is why I'll stand by you until the bitter end in this trial. Whatever happens, I'll always be by your side. That's what it means to be a defense lawyer. I need to see what Susato looks like. It means so much to me, Susato. Here we go. You should go in at once, Ray. If you're late, the judge won't hesitate to pronounce you guilty. Oh. Stand aside! I love her. I don't think I've ever seen her run so fast. Well, Susato, certainly surprised your father. Went to such lengths to be admitted into the courtroom and with no prior experience of being a lawyer. I mean, you say no prior experience, but how many times did she get Ryunosuke out of a tough spot? I'm sorry. She has plenty of experience. Didn't even do it. Ow, Jacket, why are you the way you are? There was simply no other way. That's all there is to it. A father. Haven't told her, have you? I mean, I'm right in assuming that Ray doesn't know how it came to this. Hi, Ash! Yes, quite right. I've kept that information from her. It would only worry her if she found out that no other lawyer would agree to take her case. But, you know what? This is great. But I just want to see Susato dressed as a man, okay? Give me my gay fantasy. Can we please hurry up? Fucking her best friend was having a gay panic over her. Can I please fucking see Susato dressed as a boy? I need it. Game! I didn't want to burden her with that. And is it true? The reason why every other lawyer is refusing to take the case? Is it really because of who the victim was? Peacock, bitch lady. Why did I say peacock? It was a fucking swan. Swan, bitch lady. No one cares that she's dead. We should be making a move now too. As you know, law isn't my field, but I'll do what I can to support my student. Thank you, Father. Come on, Susato. I need to see what Susato looks like. You can't do this to me, video game. I'm Susato Mikotoba, a judicial assistant. 8 months ago, I accompanied a student of law on a study trip to Great Britain. But 2 months ago, due to unforeseen circumstances, I find myself back in Japan. Well, there's Ryunosuke. How many times have I wished that he were here? I wonder. Oh. Bisexual panic now? Still, I have no choice now but to steel myself for the trial ahead. Wish me luck, Naruto-san. Fucking hell, I did it again. We need to see what you... We're good today! We're good. Starting the second game of this, so... It's already off to a wonderful fucking start. Holy shit. Oh my god! Susato's hot! Oh no, Ash! I just got a glimpse of Susato and I'm having a gay panic. She looks fabulous as a guy! No, internet, don't do this. They're messing with the water and stuff, so like, I feel like it's affecting the internet somehow. It's being weird. The court is now in session to hear the trial of Rei and Mambi. Oh god, we're back to this fuck up. I don't want to hear you talk. Oh my god! I love the way she looks! Like, she really doesn't look like a guy because of the hair in the back. But she looks adorable! Oh, you're trying so hard. I love you. Who needs Ryunosuke? I just need Susato. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh my god. Fuck the kimono. Can you wear this for the rest of the game? Are you ready? Yes, Your Excellency. Did no one question Mikotoba? Because he's her father. And if anyone knows Mikotoba, they know what his daughter looks like. Did no one question this? They were just like, sure, no one else is gonna defend her. We'll pretend we don't know that there's a girl in the room. She's doing the Ryunosuke eyes! You can't make fun of Ryunosuke after this. If we go back to Ryunosuke and you talk to him, you can't make fun of him for being nervous because you're doing the same bullshit. Ah, yes, counsel. According to your registration details, your name is, Ryutaro Naruto. She took his last name! Okay, girl. Girl went hard. She's like, I'm Naruto. Why did you take Ryutaro? Why that first name? I love her. Sorry? Did you forget? Oh yes, I had to come up with a suitable male name for you. This little bitch. Oh, her dad gave him the other guy's last name! Her dad did this! Mikotoba! You can't do that! These two are gonna end up married now. She's gonna marry Naruto because she already has the name. So I'm afraid to say I simply put down the first name that sprung to mind. Well, counsel? Yes, that's right. That's me. Yes, I'm Ryutaru, he who has vowed to uphold the pride of the great Naruto clan. You love her. I love her so much, guys. Can we never go back to Naruto? Can we just keep with her? Can she be the whole second game? I'll be content. I don't think she is, but it's a great way to start it off. It seems Ryutaru may need to consider how better to uphold this manly act first, and not overdo it. And those wild, wide eyes aren't doing you any favors either. Just relax and listen. Naruto? A fresh face in this courtroom, if I'm not mistaken. But the name Naruto? Yeah, you should know that name. Yeah! You may be thinking of Ryunosuke Naruto, currently in Britain as part of the study program. That is, his cousin. There won't be any Sholmes in this one, but there's definitely Sholmes in the rest of the game. But I don't think there's, because they're in Japan right now, there won't be any Sholmes. It'd be funny if Sholm just showed the fuck up in Japan, though. God. Majima, why are the sleeves so tight on your jacket? It's uncomfortable. For long periods of time, I can't wear this. That's right, Ryutaru here has been studying in the provinces, but was called to the capital for this trial. I assure you, in matters of law, his knowledge rivals that of any of Tokyo's preeminent lawyers. Any of them! Tut tut tut. What a pitiful situation. Having been rejected by every lawyer in the capital, the accused has had to call in a country boy. Don't wish that plague upon us. How dare you! Susato has ever been as gallant and dashing as any of your Tokyo attorneys. You're giving it away, Ray. I won't have you making fun of her. Her? Oh, Please be careful, Ray. What an unrefined tomboy we have here. But I wonder, is your gallant and dashing lawyer up to the challenge of defending you? Damn right she is! His wide, skittish eyes very much suggest that he is not. Fuck you. I'm so nervous. Now that I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand what Naruto-san goes through. Yeah, which means you can't make fun of him anymore. You gotta find something new to make fun of him for. Like it or not, eyes are wont to flit. She's so cute. The case to be heard on this day is a matter of great significance to our national interest. In fact, it would be reasonable to assume that the outcome of this trial may well affect the very future of our empire. God. There goes the internet. Come on, internet. They're doing something with the power lines and stuff and the water, and I think it's really just messing with everything. Sucks. I think what we're gonna do is just get through the first part of this trial because it's acting wonky. And yet, for the proceedings of such importance, we have this unknown yokel by the dock. Dear me. Perhaps this would be an appropriate moment for me to assess the defense, to determine whether you are sufficiently competent to practice in this courtroom. 9 months ago, when a certain other Naruto stood where you're standing now, this same judge tested him as well. And even though he was just a student at the time, not even in law, he passed the test with flying colors. For a trained and experienced judicial assistant like you, this will be easy. So, counsel, do you consent to answering some simple questions? Can they not see? Oh, she took the cape off. Okay, but, boobs are very obvious. Once you take the cape off, the boobs are very much there. Alright, it's time to prove myself. Oh, she did the fist slap! Yes, Your Excellency, please, but please do make them simple. Very well. To start with, you will state the name of the victim. Ooh, that is simple. I couldn't forget that if I try. I don't know her name, guys. What was her name? I've just called her Bird Bitch. I don't know her name. Ah, what's the matter? Now that I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand something else Naruto-san goes through. Like it or not, minds are wont to blink. Not surprising, really. It's your first time in this position, and in that guise. Even a bright spark like you is bound to flicker and falter a little under the circumstances. Oh dear. This is a dismal failure. Her name is not Shitty Haru, she has an actual name. Don't fret. It was like Elizabeth something? I'll recognize it when I see it. Of course, the court record, or I could just look it up. In the court record, that's right. Just use R1 to open the court record. Then you need to flip to people. And don't take too long over it. His Excellency is watching you closely. God, she looks adorable in this outfit. Alright, check. Reading council. Okay. Oh, no, her name was Giselle Brett. Giselle Brett. Bitch. This one. Okay. What is the name of the victim in this case? Oh, well, I could have done that without it. That's the only English-sounding name. Oh, she raises- Oh, she's raising her hand, too! God, you're so much like him. The name of the victim who lost her life in this case is Miss Giselle Brett. Giselle Brett. A name that will never be forgotten in the courtrooms of our country, I'm sure. Correct. And being a member of Empire's judiciary, you will be well aware of the significance of that name. You should. That was the other case. That was the very first case we did. Miss Brett was a visiting student from the Empire of Great Britain. Why, then, is her name indelibly associated with her own Empire's judicial history? Obviously, you won't have forgotten that case from 9 months ago. He murdered, Watson. Who is, pink-haired girl's dad. I've already forgotten pink-haired girl's name. Fine. Obviously, Iris is dad, but he's not really Iris's dad, but Iris thinks that Watson is her dad. That was the start of everything. This is so Brett. Behind the woman student persona was the face of a killer.
Yes!
9 months ago, a visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial University was killed. The culprit was Jezebel Brett. Yes, she was a killer. At the time, our country had just signed a new treaty with the Empire of Great Britain, and it was in the midst of this delicate diplomatic situation that the incident occurred. An Englishman, Dr. John H. Wilson, Wilson, not Watson, whatever, same thing, was shot dead. I believe he was an associate of yours, Professor Mikotoba. Yes, I was indebted to the man. He'd been my mentor when I went to London to study forensic medicine. Indeed, it was I who invited him here to Japan as a visiting professor at the university. Naturally, the murder of an Englishman on our soil was a matter the government wished to resolve rapidly. Indeed it was, which is why a secret trial was conducted here at the Supreme Court. Yeah. No, he didn't kill him. Hey, Kazuma! Yep. I remember all of this. You don't have to remind. I do have this under lock and key. Eventually admitted to her crime. However, when questioned about the motive that drove her to take Dr. Wilson's life, she gave no satisfactory answer before the trial reached its conclusion. Unable to sentence Miss Brett according to our Empire's laws, it was decided that she would be removed to Shanghai, China, instead. Why Shanghai? There's a British consular court there. Okay. Correct. I oversaw the negotiations personally. The date of her transfer to Shanghai was finally settled upon last week. Wait, it took you 9 months to decide when this bitch was gonna go face her trial? You forgot Shitty Haru's name. I did. Did forget her name, okay? All that remained of our Empire's obligations was to see the woman safely on board a steamship. Yet, the very day before her departure, the Englishwoman was killed. Only the day before? That will do. I'm satisfied that the counsel for the defense is sufficiently capable of representing the defendant. You asked me 2 questions! Yeah, that really doesn't test my defending skills. Oh. Thank you, Your Excellency. The first hurdle. Now, a summary of the incident, if you please. Prosecutor Achi. Oh god, this man. God, I hate him. A pungent crime took place on 11th August in broad daylight. Oh. Did it have to be the 11th of August? I like that date. That's my anniversary. Did it have to be the 11th? On the outskirts of the Imperial capital, under a bright blue sky, at a secluded bathing spot by the sea. The incident occurred inside a small beach hut, erected for bathers to rest or change their clothes. The cause of death was a single stab wound to the posterior abdomen that pierced the victim's lung. An injury which proved fatal. She's still wearing the dumbass swan. There were two persons alone together in the beach hut at the time of the victim's death. Miss Brett, in her bathing attire. She's wearing a whole ass dress! That was her bathing attire? And the accused, Ray Mimabi. Accordingly, there can be no doubt of the accused's guilt, especially when we considered she had a powerful motive. The police arrived rapidly at the scene and promptly arrested the young lady. What was her motive? Well, that extraordinary description of events leaves me somewhat lost for words, I must say. It's certainly true. The prosecution's summary is full of words that raise an awful lot of questions. The lawyer, I really ought to pick up the prosecution console on what he said. Powerful motive. They didn't say what it was. Doing the hand slapping thing. Love it. You're clearly exaggerating. Powerful motive is a blatant overstatement. Maybe is using long words he doesn't fully understand? I beg your pardon? No matter. Let us put this to the accused, shall we? Mamabi-san, you are a research assistant at the Imperial University, I believe. Yes, I am. I'm working with Professor Mikatoba at his laboratory at the moment. I can confirm that. The defendant is an excellent assistant with a strong sense of responsibility. Fascinating to hear. Now, another question. Prior to your work with Professor Mikatoba, whose research were you assisting then? Oh, I was studying under Dr. John H. Wilson, the visiting English professor who was murdered by Miss Brett 9 months ago? The accused had a deep-seated respect for her former mentor, Dr. Wilson. Is that not true? Yes, Dr. Wilson was a wonderful man. Interesting. Then tell the court what deep-seated feelings you had towards the Englishwoman who killed him. Well, obviously I was filled with hatred for what she'd done. A powerful hatred! Oh no, Ray, be careful of what you're saying! Wait, did we not... We only met her just... Well, she's our best friend, but we only talked to her before the trial. Should we have not talked to her sooner? So that we could, like, go over things not to say during a fucking trial? The motive was revenge. Plain and simple, Your Excellency. Well, it was clearly a trap all along. How wicked of him to use Ray's undying respect for her former mentor against her like that. Must find out more details, and something we can use to bolster our defense. The lawyer, I really ought to pick up the prosecution counsel and what he said about- oh, okay. What about them being alone together? Mimabi-san? Yes, what is it, Suza? I mean, Naruto-san? I'm really starting to wish we made my Alice Ryataru Susato. Tell the court why exactly you were present at the bathing spot with the victim in the first place? And why you were alone with her? Oh, well, no, that's not true. It wasn't like that at all. There were other people present, a detective who was guarding Miss Brett for starters. I was just asked to accompany Miss Brett as a companion, that's all. But let us be clear. At the moment of her death, you were alone together, with the victim in the hut. You and no one else. The truth is, there is only one reason why this young woman accompanied Miss Brett in her bathing sojourn. It was the accused's last chance to take the victim's life. No! Because, as we know, the following day would see Miss Brett extradited to the British authorities in Shanghai. And the accused would never have an opportunity to dispatch her again. finally refrained from conjecture, Counsel. Ooh. Ooh. Ryunosuke needs some of her confidence, because, like, while she was nervous at first, she does actually know lawyer stuff. Ryunosuke really doesn't. The prosecution counsel seems to enjoy using provocative tricks like that, but for now at least, we need to assemble more facts. Try not to let him goad you. Oh dear, this is really terrifying. The father's right, we need more information. As a lawyer, if I may, Prosecutor Ashi, why are you raising your hand? Why it's 7 out of 10? I like her confidence! I like it. I wonder, could you explain, please? You mentioned a bathing spot? My apologies. Clearly my modernity has confused this poor country bumpkin's simple mind. Bathing spots are the very latest trend in health practices from the West. We are told that bathing in the water of the ocean is curative, therapeutic, and excellent for the skins. No, that's not what I meant. I was referring to the fact that Miss Britt had, to all intents and purposes, been found guilty of murder. Why would a known criminal have been relaxing by the sea? For old time's sake, I believe. Sorry? Miss Britt was to depart for Shanghai the following day. Her final wish, as it were, was to enjoy a day at our country's wonderful coast. The British embassy put extreme pressure on our government to comply. But on what grounds will we agree to such a request? Because, as usual, our government is unable to stand up to foreign powers. In matters of diplomacy, it seems we don't even have the courage to decline the whims of a known criminal. Don't look at me, Professor. It was the government who granted permission, not I. In any case, it was decided that with a dedicated detective on duty, nothing could go wrong. But in fact, a murder took place. I said don't look at me! It was the young student girl who did it, not I. No one has proved that yet! I wouldn't provoke the man if you don't need to. I believe we all have a clear picture of the incident now. By her guilt being determined 9 months ago, Miss Brett managed to avoid incarceration, instead continuing her research work at the university. Obviously, over that period, she and Ray would have encountered each other on a number of occasions. Seeing the murderer of her mentor, whom she had such great respect, enjoying such undeserved liberty. Yes, even if it was only temporary until Miss Brett's extradition to Shanghai. You can hardly blame Ray for her feelings of anger and resentment. Poor Ray. If you'd be so kind to produce this exhibit. I photograph it for— yeah, I know. Okay. Yes, thank you, Counsel. A tragic image. You can clearly see there is nowhere within the hut that anyone else could have hidden. What? What? You could have literally hidden behind the huge-ass dress in the back. What are you talking about no one could have hidden? The huge-ass fucking dress doesn't mean anything to you? If I understand it, then the victim and the defendant were alone inside the beach hut at the time. Really troubling, I must say. The finger of guilt points firmly at the defendant. Well, Your Excellency, naturally the prosecution has much more to its case. We intend to prove the accused's appalling actions beyond all possible contention. To that end, I can confirm that we have multiple witnesses to the crime and damning evidence. Witnesses? But who? One of whom, I might add, is a highly respected police detective. I assure you, the testimony of these witnesses will leave no room for doubt. We have been waiting for this moment. What? Oh yes, I haven't forgotten. That trial 9 months ago, here in this very courthouse. That irreverent little student boy utterly humiliated me. You take it out on her? Oh, his hair I was wondering what looked different about him, his hair. I couldn't place what looked different about him, so I didn't say anything. His hair. He's wearing his hair down now. Oh yeah, cause Kazuma cut everything. Okay. Did he never fix his hair after Kazuma cut it? You never fixed your goddamn hair? Bro, it takes like 2 seconds to put your hair back up. What are you doing with your life? Strike the head of a samurai whose top knot has been cut, and the bell of cultural enlightenment tones. Yes, on that fateful day, my foremost self died. You're dramatic. Also, why are you blaming Ryusuke? It was technically Kazuma who did that. The start of your own mini Reggie revolution. Are you modernizing as well, Council? I swore revenge back then. There has been a minor miracle atop my head. Yeah, the weird, stupid piece of hair that I want to take a razor to. Observe the Achi growth. I hate this guy. Oh, I just cut it off. It looks stupid. I think that tiny growth is trying to tell me something. I'm afraid I can't really see. Where is the hope exactly? I said silence! Today I face another Yoko student of the Naruto clan. Well, I will vanquish you! My victory will be fertilizer for the seed of hope atop my head. You have been warned. I hate this idiot. God, you could have put your hair back up. With that, the prosecution calls the witnesses to the stand. Looks like the stakes are high on both sides in this trial. The prosecution and the defense each has much to lose. Haircut is hardly comparable to Rei's life. Susato, you speak in truth here. Oh god, it's that detective man. What are you doing here? Wait! What is the fucking Edgar Allan Poe Japanese man doing here? I know he came back to Japan, but why are you a witness? I understand the detective. Poor man's gonna be coughing up blood, probably. Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Imperial Police. Wait, he has a turtle on his head! Oh my, I love this man. I have missed Hosonaga a lot. He has a turtle on his head, though. Why? I'm in disguise, obviously, so I can go undetected. Bitch, I knew it was you from your face. I knew it was you before we got to you. The turtle. I am, well, the next big thing in books, an author renowned throughout the capital, in fact, yes. Soon to be sold out, the satirical I Am Cat. Sensational success by Saseki Natsume. I'm glad your life's going positively, bro. My goodness. Struggling student from the provinces, please. You need to be in awe of me. I needed? It's only natural that you'd feel nervous in my presence, but all of you, please relax. Call me Soseki, even. Yes. What on earth is Soseki-san doing here? Read carefully, Susato. That author fellow knows you from your time in London, doesn't he? If he exposes you for who you really are, this will be over before it's begun. Yes, of course. I know. I presume Soseki-san would have forgotten about me. I could certainly never forget him. Although he does seem to have changed somewhat in the 6 months or so that's been since the last I saw him. And as for Inspector Hosonaga, that amazing outfit is hard to believe. A turtle! Do I have something on my face? You have a turtle on your head. Well, your glasses for one, although they don't seem to be helping you see. Thank goodness he hasn't recognized me either. Ah, I suppose it's this disguise, isn't it? I thought that appearing here in these clothes I was wearing at the time would make for more faithful testimony. Did you go find the turtle and slap it to your head too? I have questions. This is my guiding principle to carry out all testimonies flawlessly. But what business to the writers such as yourself happening at the scene, Soseki-san. Ah, well, see. I had been asked that day to give a lecture. Morning of the incident in the Imperial Yume University Grand Lecture Hall, no less. At Yume University? After the lecture, I had a very pleasant conversation with a researcher from the medical science department. A professor over there, in fact. With Professor Mikotoba! Yes, that's right. It was arranged by one of the newspapers. They wanted some story or other about two former students who studied in Great Britain. Of course, being a renowned author, the press never leave me alone. They secretly spy, snap shots, scribble stories, and scupper my privacy. Ah. You can see the conversation was written up in this newspaper here. Read it at your leisure, my provincial struggling student friend. I have plenty of copies. Thank you very much. He practically threw that paper at me. Hold on. Dumbass paper. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. What is this? This looks like a fun picture. What are you doing to her dad? Anyway, following my interview with the professor, the lady in question appeared and made a very unexpected announcement. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. Those were her words. As I explained before, Miss Brett was never taken into custody. She continued to work in my laboratory under strict surveillance, of course. At which utterance, the university immediately contacted the government to seek guidance. The response was, permit Miss Brett to go as long as a detective accompanies her. The detective, I am at liberty to divulge, was me, Chief Inspector Satoru Mizunaka. I know. The only inspector from Japan we've ever seen. Goodbye, the entire party departed quarterly for the seaside, it seems. It's extremely challenging to clear all of the members of the public from the vicinity of the beach. Oh no, man! Don't start coughing, oh no! Ah! Unfortunately, I am at peak physical fitness at the moment, so... Ah! It got worse! You're not at peak physical... Coughing up blood is not a healthy thing. I was able to carry out my duty flawlessly. My, Inspector, you... Well, you do have something on your face now. I love her little head tilt with the hand on the hip. It's so cute. Ah, how unsightly. I do apologize. Does that mean you went to the beach too, Father? Oh no, you can't say father out loud! No one is supposed to know who you are! Girl! It is, yeah, and I'm thinking that that's probably what he has, because it's only been 9 months since the last time we saw him. So if he doesn't have a severe case, it would slowly ramp up. It could be a sign of something else too. It doesn't seem to have any other problems but the coughing, though. Oh, okay. He actually could have something way less life-threatening. So he's been coughing since the first game, but apparently also a major cause of coughing up blood without life-threatening is chronic bronchitis. I didn't know that. My friend had chronic bronchitis, but she never coughed up blood. It could also be pulmonary disease or cystic fibrosis has you coughing up blood. So it might not be TB because he doesn't have any other, like, the only thing I've seen, like, active with TB was fucking Fullmetal Alchemist, but he got really weak. The detective seems to be fine. Usually lung problems can cause it. So he could have a lot of things. He doesn't seem to be weak from it. I would assume it's like bronchitis or something. No, fortunately I had work to finish off, but unfortunately, of course, it meant that as my assistant, Ray was invited to take my place. Of course, being a renowned author, I didn't like to decline the invitation. Ah, but if only I had, I'd never had seen that awful sight. Here we go. There's the dramatic boy, relentlessly racked by remorse and regret. There he is. There's his stupidity. Oh gosh, ouch. Yeah, testimony time. Hey, I'm still worried about you though. Does a turtle on your head make you feel better though? I think I just got wrong texted, but at the same time, maybe I just don't know this number. I think I just maybe wrong texted though. They just thanked me for giving them a Christmas present. I've never given anyone a Christmas present. Think you got the wrong number, honey. I don't want to text who is this. What if it's a spam text? I wouldn't even know. They're in the numbers from this. Just say you're welcome. No, they're from. They're definitely from where I live. They have the same area code for the phones. Trying to think. There's every chance that maybe they just had the wrong number. What's an actual number? It doesn't pop up as a spam number. I'm just gonna... Don't know who you are. I'm sorry. Where's mine, Monk? No, I'm not gonna text back. I'm just gonna delete it. Thought it was something important. That was just threw me off. Yeah? It's our neighbor. Oh. What show do you want? Oh, I don't know that show. No. Walk? Oh, you want the chicken show? Okay, I'll be right back. That's right, you guys say back chicken, so I know what the heck. No. Your chance. No. What, baby? Then press the button. Don't tell me you can't do it. You're not that lazy. Got it? Table. Relentlessly racked by remorse and regret. Listen, Japanese Edgar Allan Poe, stop. The day of the incident, I was ordered on a special surveillance assignment in this disguise. Just managed to catch that crab when I suddenly heard a caterwaul from behind me. I ran into the beachhead at once, where I found the pair in question. Yes, that young girl was astride the Englishwoman, dagger in hand, as she stabbed wildly. I saw blood on the blade. It proved to me that she stabbed the victim multiple times, or she pulled the blade out. Just saying. Ah, no jumping. What? Yeah, if you will recall, I promised evidence as well. How many evidence? It's a pen. Correct, Your Excellency. I found it at the scene and was examining the body. It appears that in her dying moments with her final ounce of strength, the victim clutched a piece of evidence that would positively identify her killer. What? Your Excellency, if you would cast your eyes over the photographic print of the crime scene once more. Yeah, she was holding the pen. Doesn't give anything. That's right. Fountain pen. Theo's initials have been engraved into the ebonite barrel. RM. God. Initials of the defendant. Oh, she did the Ryanuski thing! God, girl, I love you. Fountain pen will be meted immediately as critical evidence. Oh. How are you? He's seeping. Oh, shut up. I gotta look at the pen. Get fucking ahead of yourself. Oh, I can't examine things right? Are they gonna reteach us how to do everything? Oh god, game. I know how to play. I guess that's for if people didn't play the first one. Oh god, they're gonna teach us how to play again. I can't go through this. I know how to do this. Let it be. I love you too. So have I omitted anything? Decisive testimony and damning evidence. There's a bright blue sky outside the courthouse today. Perfect weather to ascribe guilt, I feel. Hey, let him be, baby. I don't understand the prosecutor Achi of 9 months ago. And none of this man's points. You may begin your cross-examination now. Naruto-san! Naruto. That means... Oh, yes! Me! Is there another Naruto in my courtroom? Actually, there isn't even a single Naruto in your courtroom. Cousin Ryutaro, pull yourself together, please. Alright, I've seen this countless times as a judicial assistant. Find inconsistencies in the witnesses' testimonies to prove they're lying somehow. That's all there is to it. How a real lawyer would handle a cross-examination. So let's see what I can do. I love that you don't have to have actual confidentials or anything proving you're a lawyer. They just accept it.
Hold it!
I love her voice. In that jaunty disguise. Correct. Wait, no. I mean, it wasn't the first time I've worn this swimsuit for a dip in the ocean. It's tried and tested. Do what must be done to keep the English woman under surveillance. Those were my orders that day. Tried and tested outfit was the answer? Being able to blend flawlessly into a crowd is an important part of a detective's job. What are you doing? What What are you doing? So it is your turtle. You did willingly strap this turtle to your head then. What are you doing though? I submerged myself in salty water, leaving only my Mr. Turtle floating inconspicuously on the surface. Sunaga, I love you! Mr. Turtle loves the water. I love him so much. I've missed Hosonaga. But there was no need for you to blend into the background on this assignment, really, was there? If that made you late arriving on the scene, I think perhaps you had your priorities wrong. Glad he got up fast. Oh no god, don't cough. Oh jeez. Perhaps I shouldn't pursue this line of questioning any further at the moment. What? What? I earned an achievement? That.
Hold it!
Ah! You're describing the victim's scream, presumably, Soseki-san. In more literally terms, you might say it was a scream that could have pierced the heavens. Shut up. With the like. Thank you. Of course, that's just a metaphor. We renowned authors are wont to describing things so. I would say maybe don't trust his fucking stuff because he's embellishing. Anyway, I spun around at the noise and the beach hut immediately fell under my gaze. Yes, the beach hut. The area is popular with government ministers. Many have seaside retreats there for the rest and recuperation. Locals are prohibited from entering the area, so it's always very quiet. The beach hut is a simple structure erected as a place for people to change or take refuge from the sun. Though, the Englishwoman commandeered the hut for herself, which meant that I was forced to change into my swimwear on the sand. Ah, I imagine that was rather embarrassing for you. Well, anyway, I tossed the crab aside and headed for the beach hut at a run. Or, in a more literary terms, I decrabbed and beetled off hut-wise. Did it get Ash? Maybe you need to move away from the desk.
Hold it!
Wait, by pair, you don't mean to say. But how could that be? No, you misunderstand. Obviously, I mean the victim and the defendant, Raymond Mabi-san. Oh, it would have been very helpful if you could have just said that from the outset. To jump to conclusions, you have to expect to fall flat on your face sometimes. Dear me, pinning your hopes on such an outside chance. Foolish. Very foolish. It really was an outside chance. I just wish I'd realized that before I said something silly. So, Inspector, why don't you tell the court exactly how you found the aforementioned pair hut? Refusal. It was a sorry sight, a really grisly scene. I parted the Norin curtain hanging in the doorway and stepped inside only to see the defendant leaning menacingly over the lifeless body of the victim sprawled on the sand. Oh god! Oh, the turtle! Careful! You're gonna hurt yourself and the turtle. Alrighty, Ash. My glasses very nearly cracked at the ominous sight that met my eyes. How thoroughly appalling. Ugh, he doesn't appear to be lying here. Well, Soseki-san, can you confirm what Inspector Hosonaga is saying, I wonder? Ah, you like a literally man's opinion?
Hold it!
Stabbed wildly. You actually saw her do it? Oh, indeed. The terrible spectre, the terrapin inspector, the bloody torrent, the author's torment. Every sight and every sound is still carved in my melancholy memory. That was my impression, at least, as a future literary sensation. Oh my god. Ah, shut up. Oh, no. No. What are you insinuating? It's manly? I'm as manly a Japanese man as you. I wonder if I might interject here, Soseki-san. Something you said is troubling me. That was my impression, were your words just now, I believe. Call him out. Ah, so do you mean to say you're not confident that you really did see what you've described? I mean, yes! I mean, I know what I saw! My ears didn't deceive me when I heard that scream, hence my eyes didn't deceive me either. I could describe everything I saw vividly. I could publish it all in tomorrow's newspaper. Sounds as though the next installment of I Am a Cat may take a macabre turn. No, leave him on. It's too cold. Ellie, leave him on. Leave him on for now. I think this is a fool's errand. The more we press your author friend on what he saw, the more entrenched he's going to become. Okay, I heard you. I said no, Jelly. I know, and I heard you. You already got my answer. It's not changing. No. Oh dear, how awkward.
Hold it!
You're stabbed multiple times? How can you be sure of that? Hold on, can I look at the thing now? It won't let me examine the pen. Hate it. The blood? When I entered the hut, I saw the defendant holding the blade raised up in the air. Oh. And I noticed there was blood on the blade already at that point. In other words, the victim had already been stabbed at least once by the time I arrived on the scene. And the victim was already holding the defendant's fountain pen in her hand, too. All of which means I can be sure the victim did not die instantly. Being here in London was too much for him. He sounds like he's forgotten how to speak Japanese. The logic of your argument is sound, at least. As I said, he's my guiding principle to carry all testimonies flawlessly. Perhaps it should have been your guiding principle to protect the victim flawlessly? That's just my personal opinion, of course. Ooh, she brutal! Brayanuski would never say that stuff out loud, but Susato does not have a fucking filter. You were mocking the witness. Oh no. I have so many thoughts swirling around in my head. All I can do to stand here wide-eyed and mute. Goodness, my dear. You really must try to calm down. How am I supposed to find an inconsistency in what these two gentlemen are saying? I don't see why either of them would have any reason to lie. Delusion, even. Ah, a delusion. What's important is that we determine the truth, and there's only one sure way to do that. Yes, with evidence, of course. I know. We're really relearning the mechanics. None of these kill with the evidence that I have. Nope, too far down. This slot. Present during the evidence?
Hold it!
Oh, I think I picked the wrong one. It's okay. Presented? Oh, maybe it's this one, as she stabbed wildly. Only a single wound was identified.
Yes!
The witness's statement is definitively contradicted by this piece of evidence. Well, definitively? Oh no, okay, never mind. But it does fit! He said stabbing wildly! And it literally says no! She was stabbed once! I feel like that has any relevance right now. I need to do the photograph? Hold on. No one cares about your disguise. No one cares about the crab. Multiple times. Maybe it's this one.
Objection!
There she goes. I just left one too early. I did have the right evidence. That accusatory cry that just welled from the deep inside of me, I think I finally understand. Every time Kazuma-sama and Naruto-san have stood here at this bench, the stakes have been very, very high indeed. The meaning of that menacing pose, counsel. I'd like the witnesses to clarify something for me. Who, what, where, when, how? Not you, Suzeki-san. The query is directed at Inspector Hosonaga. In your statement just now, you said that the victim was stabbed multiple times. Yes, that's right. Then when I entered the hut, the defender was already standing over the victim, bloody knife in hand, like a murderous demon. Yet, that cannot be. What? I'm getting there. Oh, she has a little book! In the post-mortem report, it clearly states that the victim was stabbed one time only. In other words, Inspector Hosonaga's testimony is clearly flawed. And Suzeki-san, you claim to have seen the Mabi-san in the throes of stabbing the victim. But both of you and the inspector confirmed the same point. There was already blood on the knife that you saw the defendant holding. Yes, and? It's quite simple. We know the murder weapon was used to stab the victim only once, therefore, there is no way there could have been blood on the knife if that single stabbing hadn't already occurred. Welcome back! Yes, Your Excellency. There's only one logical conclusion. What Suzeki-san in fact saw was not the moment that the defendant stabbed the victim at all, but the moment that the defendant in fact withdrew the blade from the victim's body. That can't... It can be. She's hot in that outfit. Jesus fucking Christ. Excellent work, Susato. You exploded at them with that objection and then proceeded to pull them apart systematically.
Objection!
Well, well. This takes me back. Yes, I seem to remember your cousin staged a scene much like this in the trial 9 months ago. A half-witted child with a half-baked objection attempting to steal the show. You're right. There were certain similarities. Except that so-called half-witted child managed to outwit the prosecution, who has only half a head of hair. Whoa! Her dad is brutal. Go for it, man. Slander! My head is quite adequately dressed. Shave it off! Shave it off! I've got nachos. Yummy! In any case, all this talk of stabbing and withdrawing and multiple wounds, it makes not a jot of difference. What? Why not? Engage your brain, young man. When the accused first plunged the deadly weapon into the victim, that was the fatal blow. And it was the moment, just as she had withdrawn the blade ready for her next strike, that the witness saw. Oh no! Or we could go my way and say that there's enough reasonable doubt. The knife was already tainted with blood because the accused had already stabbed the victim. All you have successfully shown with your little display is that the mustached author is prone to moments of extravagance. You're getting there, girl. I'm in agreement with the prosecution. The defendant was seen wielding the blade at all. That is sufficient grounds for her actions to be viewed with suspicion. No, never. I hate him. If she was withdrawing the blade, we are back to where we started. Sorry? Consider this, young yokel boy. If the student girl is innocent as you claim, why would she have pulled the blade from the victim? With a demon's cold-blooded composure, too. Maybe she was trying to save her. Maybe she thought it would help her. People don't do rational things when there's a dead body. The prosecution demands an explanation, and it better be good. Did Ray pull out the knife? Ah, yes. Going for the jugular. What does father mean by that? Exists. I love Sholmes, though. Let the court hear your answer, then, counsel. The truth is, I don't really know. But I have to come up with a plausible reason here. We don't have a case. Achi is stupid and I hate him. The reason why the defendant pulled the knife blade out of the victim's body was surely so she could save her life. According to the postmortem report, the victim's death was not instant. That's correct. It's thought she would have remained conscious for a short while after sustaining the injury. Indeed, giving her the time to take hold of this piece of evidence that clearly indicates her killer. The point is, being a medical research assistant, Mimbabi-san was compelled to act when faced with the wounded victim. Instinctively, she pulled the blade out in an attempt to save Miss Brett's life. Gotcha. Bitches. Not you, Dad, you're great. Did you hear that, Your Excellency? It would seem this is the best we can expect of this young yokel. Indeed. Ah, you fuck all of you! Is it just me or does it suddenly feel much colder in here? Your Excellency, if I may? I would like another opportunity to testify. Respect to the slipshod assertion just put forward by the yokel defense counsel, I mean. Slipshod? How rude. I liked you. Don't insult me. A young yokel hopeful has a mode it seems. But in matters of medicine, he appears to possess not an iota of common sense. Okay, but if she was just a student, maybe she didn't know that pulling out the blade makes things worse. Okay? Oh gosh. Yes, sir. I will do so flawlessly. You didn't the first time, buddy. Pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding. That's basic knowledge that any medical research assistant with an ounce of sense ought to know. In other words, there's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim. Let's not forget that the young student did have a motive for killing the victim. The man the victim murdered 9 months ago, Dr. Wilson, was the defendant's highly respected mentor. Is what you just said true, Inspector? Did pulling a knife from a wound really caused the wound to bleed heavily? Yes. Yeah. What are you doing? Come here, what are you doing? Just show me. No more takes, that's it. Yes, think of the weapon itself as a stopper in the wound that prevents excess blood loss. Until a doctor is ready to provide proper treatment, that stopper shouldn't be removed. I can... Yes, this is true, but if she was just panicked... Ah, this is why Yoko should stay on the farm. I'm just gonna punch you. Her father's a medical person. Wouldn't she have known this, though? Even a quack from some obscure mountain village would have such basic knowledge. Anyone who's ever given someone a little poke with a knife and pulled it out again knows it. Achi. Most people aren't stabbing people with knives. Oh. Well, I've never stabbed anyone, you see. Or pulled a blade out of a wound, so... Of course you haven't. I didn't bring you up to behave like a bandit. Thanks, Dad. Father, is it true, what they're telling me? Yes, it's basic remedial knowledge for medics. Ray would have been well aware of it. If she were to claim ignorance of such fundamentals, that would prove fatal in many ways. But then, why would Ray have done it? Would she have pulled out that knife in full knowledge that it would be fatal for Miss Brett? Don't know. Ray never once mentioned anything about the knife to me. Seems almost impossible to believe, but could my friend actually have? Susato. Yes? Pull yourself together. We mustn't lose sight of why we're here. Another cross-examination! However, I must warn you that if your cross-examination fails to identify any issue with the established facts, I will be moving to my education immediately afterwards. I don't want to read today, guys. God, it's so much work. Reading. Dan. Believing in your clients and fighting for their cause until the bitter end. I knew it would be hard, but I had no idea it would be this hard. You no longer get to make fun of Ranusuke when we get back to England. No more!
Hold it!
It's his hair thing. I don't know. Or her dad. Did you mean her dad? You mean her dad? Because that's Japanese. I think that's for specific like class in Japan. I know they do it for like if you watch me play 4 of Yakuza, Saejima has one of those costumes. It's also their wedding costumes. Especially the ones Saejima wore. It's for fancy things, like ceremonies. Pop pop? Okay, yeah. It's for fancy things. If he follows probably old school traditions for medicine, so it's probably a doctor's old school, like, kind of outfit. Because, Saejima has one. I think Majima does too. They're both considered wedding outfits and ceremony outfits. The Yakuza one in particular is both wedding and ceremony. I think her father is just old traditional style. It is like the 1800s or 1600s. So it's probably just for like tradition stuff. The only time we see him is when he's doing trial stuff. So I'm assuming just like the prosecution is wearing a specifically traditional outfit, that so does the defendant stuff. You say doing it without thinking could be a problem. That is, I mean, if you use due care and attention, it would be alright. Wouldn't have thought this needed spelling out, really, but... The blade is like a stopper in the... You said this! Yes, but if she knew what she was doing, you could stop the bleeding with enough pressure and pull the blade out. That is possible. I went to medical school. You wanna fight me? It is possible. It's not recommended to do it without being in a doctor's place, but she was a medical student. In other words, a medic would need to be present before any attempt was made to withdraw the blade. Doing it without thinking would be madness. You just can't do it. Not necessarily true. also, I guess they said it went into her lungs or whatever, but either way she was fucked, it went into her lungs. But the middle of the back, other than hitting the lungs and stuff, you were able to get it like clean through the middle. She would have been instantly dead because of the spine stuff, but there's not as much thick veins there. So it's likely she wouldn't have completely bled out. I'll argue you. Because I've stabbed myself and pulled the blade back out of my hand, and because I hit a spot that didn't really have a lot of... It hit right between the veins. It actually didn't bleed that much and it stopped really fast because I put pressure on it. So if she'd put pressure down and pulled the knife out, it's highly likely she could have stopped the bleeding. But it did hit her in the lungs. That's more of the problem. But actually, taking the blade out might have actually helped the lung. Because if they were collapsing, that would give them a way to take in air. Oh my god, lady. Dude. I'll do a lady here, dude. That one didn't help me at all.
Hold it!
In that case, there's an obvious explanation here. Which is... clearly, the defendant, Rei Mimbambi-san, does not possess an ounce of sense! Oh my god, Susato! What do you think about that, Professor Mikitoma? I'm not sure that you should be labeling your best friend as lacking in common sense. Well, I thought it would be better than labeling her as a murderer. I don't know young people today. That's friendship. I don't understand it. Lack of common sense can be a very dangerous thing. Here. That recoiled on me rather badly. Yeah, you have to think before you talk. Susato just goes for it, and I love her. But she does... She says it with such confidence, too. My friend is a fucking dumbass! That's life, I'm afraid. A lesson everyone must learn. Hopefully you can see now that this is really basic medical knowledge. Being involved in medical research, Mimbabi-san would certainly have been aware of it.
Hold it!
But the defendant had suddenly encountered somebody she knew lying on the ground, bleeding to death. The sight could have shocked her delicate sensibilities, causing her to remove the blade inadvertently. That is what I said earlier. I really don't think inadvertent actions can explain this. Yep! Some people do not do well under pressure situations. She can be trained beautifully and have the best training in the world, but you put her in a real-life situation with a blade in someone's back, and she might just react without thinking. That is possible. The woman is a medical research assistant. I can't imagine why she would behave so irrationally. Has she ever been in this situation before? I don't think so. That I know of. You can't predict how someone's going to react in a bad situation. Oh, but irrational behavior is a woman's prerogative, isn't it? Oh dear. You have a lot to learn about women! Only small-minded man could have such bigoted views. Well, good to know the Hosonaga has women respect juice. Good for you, bro! Oh dear. Perhaps I'm letting my male persona take hold a little too much. Well, have I managed to convey the basics now? That should cover the medical side of the argument. Hosanaga's drinking that women respect juice, and I love him.
Hold it!
Because this is not an era where women were treated very respectively. Whatever the motive, it just isn't in Mabami-san's nature to do something so awful. But she had both motive and opportunity. That's very hard to argue against. But you don't know the defendant.
Objection!
And you, counsel, do not appear to know the law. Yes, evidence is the only way to convince the court of your argument, not feelings. With this fledgling to defend her, I would almost say I pity the accused. So do I! Oh no! Doctor, you will reiterate your point about the defendant's motive, please. Ah. Yes, Miss Brett was in many ways the sworn enemy of Mabami-san.
Hold it!
Well, yes, that's true. Dr. Wilson recognized Mabami-san's talent and offered her the position, despite her being a woman. He was extremely grateful to him. Yes, the Englishman appears to have been a very broad-minded individual. Dr. Wilson had no time for outdated tradition. He met with the opposition, of course, but he believed firmly in Mabami-san's abilities. Clearly, the defendant was in the man's debt, which only serves to prove my point. This is hopeless. I can't find a single crack in this testimony anywhere. If Ray knew that withdrawing the knife from the wound would threaten Miss Brett's life further, I just can't think of any way to explain why she did it. Susato, at a time like this, when it's especially important to remember the fundamentals. Fundamentals? Evidence is what counts in the courtroom, isn't it? Okay, but I don't think I have any evidence that would prove anything. I'm not gonna prove why she pulled the blade out. Maybe the pen, but we haven't been able to examine the pen because the game wants to teach me the basics again, even though I know the basics! I think perhaps you're forgetting something, though. You needn't take the evidence at face value. You can and must examine it in greater Yeah, I know, video game! I've played the whole other game that's in this fucking collection. Would you just let me play? I don't need to go through the basics again, I've got it! If you put something in a collection, you should take out the introductory stuff. Like, I don't need to be reintroduced to the mechanics if it's in a collection, because obviously I'm already doing the whole collection. Is the other one gonna do this? Does every Ace game do this, where they're just like, hey, just in case you're stupid. But it came in, what bothers me is it came in the collection. Like, if I bought these games separately, I could understand. But they're one game. They come in one thing. That's what bothers me. I wanted them to make the effort to go back and be like, let's not have them repeat the same things. Do all the other Ace ones do this too in the collection? Jesus fucking Christ. Also, this feels like a series that you shouldn't play this one before the other one. Like, I can understand playing the prelude stuff, which is what I'm doing. But these definitely seem like connected stuff that you should play in order. I'm not going to forget everything. This is not a hard game to play. I've been taking breaks. I still remember the mechanics. Ah, I realize this is your first time playing the Roy of Lawyer. I know. I got it. I know. Yes. It's an idea, certainly. You should examine it. I know what to do. Please, shut up. I don't need help. Yep. Yes, now let me do this. To summarize everything. I'm good. Okay, let's look at the evidence. Okay. So the only thing we haven't been able to examine was the pen.
This is good news. This is here tomorrow. We have it tomorrow.
Okay, one sleep for tomorrow. For the barrel shot. We're just taking this pen apart. Oh god, her spray is pretty attractive. It's clear? but you would still see some ink. I did. But I actually want to play through these games. Especially to see Sholmes. Doesn't feel like evidence I can use right now. What the heck? The fun bottom? Okay, so it doesn't in fact belong to- I didn't think it did. RM could be anyone's initials. Suck. Oh, now we can actually do this, okay. Karate chop me in the neck, oh my god. Really poison. Wasn't that what she used in the first one? I know what it's from. Nope. I don't know if this is helping with the current stuff. Can't use this one. Oh look, there was a wine bottle. She could have been poisoned. Poison used back on her because... That doesn't tell me anything. So... Poison lace blade. Could I use that poison article? If she was trying to stop it from going into the body, she would have pulled it out immediately. This was like the only one where there could be an option. The pen doesn't feel like it would have any good reason for this, but this does.
Objection!
Here we go, music stopped. No, there is one possibility. One very good reason why the defendant might have decided to withdraw the knife from the victim's wound. You will not only the poor grasp of the law, but is also a poor loser. Shut up, bitch! Poison. It's here. In this newspaper article. An article about a deadly poison having been stolen from a laboratory at the Universe.
Objection!
The victim perished from a stab wound. Poison has no relevance in this case. But It does. Thank you. It does. Let me finish. But a newspaper article, the court cannot rely on that kind of hearsay those wretched publications carry. Counsel for the defense. I'm going to need some tangible basis for your claim. You will indicate to the court precisely which part of the newspaper article mentioned affirms your recitation. Good, of course. Thank you. Ray would never have done something to further endanger Miss Brett's life without just cause. The reason why the defendant pulled a knife from the victim's body is explained in the article where it says... I think it was the deadly and tiny qualities. Yeah, poison lace blade. Okay, baby. Stop. Let him be. Being very nice to him. The article reveals the following property about the poison in question. When the toxin enters the body on a knife laced with the poison, it's rapidly absorbed and causes death in minutes. Suggesting, if the knife used to attack Miss Brett was laced with this very poison, it would explain why the defendant, Mamami-san, would have withdrawn the blade as soon as possible. Yes, the truth is, it was an attempt to stop the poison from entering the victim's body. I love you too, baby.
Objection!
Gotta let beer. I know. Like that. For Jumpy's viewing pleasure. Is complete and utter nonsense. Not at all. The defendant withdrew the knife blade from the victim's back not to accelerate the woman's demise, but to save her life, and the prosecution cannot deny the possibility. Good. Is your foot not in a good place? Or was it your tail?
It's your tail. It's Bill's tail.
Go somewhere else. So don't make that a bear. Okay. You're heavy today, huh? Youngsters? No, I got him. Go. This is the bear. There you go, Jumpy. Here we go. Look at the camera. Spoiled thing. No, you don't carry. You carry him awkwardly. No. Stop. Run, bear. Ah, don't. Carry him so awkwardly. don't let you. Just let go. Here, come back. No. The word poison appears nowhere in the document.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, that's because by acting quickly to remove the blade, the defendant prevented the poison from taking hold.
Objection!
I know you are. Oh, please, this is clearly desperation. I heard you, yes. The weasel's last breaking of wind, and now it's cold. This jacket is so much warmer than I think it is. Ah! I'm not gonna wear bear as a hat. Gosh. I was getting really warm, but then I took the jacket off and it's really cold, so I guess this thing is warmer than it feels.
You see me.
I'm sorry. We have no proof that the information in this wretched newspaper article is
You
at all
did
reliable
so
anyway.
You see me.
I'm sorry. That's why I said sorry.
It's your turn.
Turtle Hat is I never said Turtle Hat is amazing. I was just curious about why Turtle Hat. In what situation, what the student should have done is wait for medical assistance to arrive. But instead, you claim she suspected poisoning and took the potential lethal decision to remove the blade. She must have had a strong reason for her suspicions then, or the argument makes no sense. Oh god, not that. Exactly, well put, Inspector. What grounds did she do it, Yoko?
It's no purse.
Why did I... If you want grounds, I'll give you grounds. What? You can't possibly. They're not empty words. But naturally, as you stand in this courtroom as a lawyer, you must be aware that words alone, empty or not, are of no value in our modern justice system. The court demands evidence. Yes, Your Excellency, I'm well aware of that. I've seen it many times, from my place at his side in the Old Bailey. In that case, counsel, you will present the proof to the court now. What evidence demonstrates a clear link between this case and the poison? I want to say this because there's a little capsule thing in the pen that you could put poison into, but is it time for the capsule?
Take that!
Okay. In truth, I'm not really sure. Oh no. No, no, this is not the right answer. That's not the right answer. I love her confidence. She's like, I thought I would ask your opinion. Oh, maybe this?
Take that!
No, not that either. Wait, maybe? Oh, it is this one, okay. Extreme meiosis pupil constriction was observed in the victim. Clearly, being a yokel with no knowledge of forensic science, I have no idea, so please do tell me. Presumably, the fact that this condition of the victim was noted in the post-mortem report means that it's an unusual symptom of death? Under normal circumstances, the pupils dilate when someone dies. If there was an extreme constriction instead, that's most certainly unusual, yes. What are you doing, you yokel detective? In the newspaper article, there's the following information about the stolen poison. You have a prediction? Onset of symptoms occur in minutes, ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death. If the defendant, upon seeing the victim stabbed in the back, happened to notice that the pupils of Miss Brett's eyes had constricted severely, was Shitty Haru? She stabbed herself? Yes, as a medical research assistant, she would have suspected poison immediately, without doubt. Prosecutor Achi, I think you'll agree. This is very compelling evidence. You yokel student and yokel professor! I believe the defense has expertly demonstrated a credible reason for the defendant's actions. No. Jujin Mikotoba. Yes, Your Excellency. I believe you are the best placed here to confirm or deny the veracity of the defense's counsel's argument. You will tell the court the truth about the details reported in this newspaper, please. It pains me to have to admit it, but I'm afraid I don't know.
Mama,
Yes.
I got cut. Look like you.
Yeah, be careful. You don't know. The toxin was kept under lock and key in my laboratory, certainly, but I was unaware of any theft.
Please.
Do you mean to tell the court that the reports of this theft are unfounded?
It's so white. I read.
Oh, owie, you want a band-aid? No, Your Excellency. Without returning to the laboratory to investigate myself, I couldn't say. It won't hurt if I put the band-aid on it. Unaware of the theft of secret state research from his own workplace until he reads it in the newspaper. I take full responsibility for the incompetence of my supervision. Father. A pitiful situation for a university professor. Don't act like you're big shit. You should have more control over your students, rather than allowing them off on killing sprees. That's totally unfounded. What? What? Hello. None of this is Professor Mikotoba's fault. It's all my fault. Ray. You stand accused here. Outbursts like this will not be tolerated. But it was me. I was the one who noticed that the poison we were developing had been stolen that day. So you knew. I'd been placed in charge of overseeing the project. It was the day that the professor and Soseki-san were interviewed together for the newspaper. That's when I noticed that some of the poison was missing. Just a tiny amount it was. Why didn't you let me know immediately? I was scared. The whole project was supposed to be confidential, but some of the toxin had somehow been taken. So I decided I'd try to get it back before anyone else found out. Because I had a very good idea who the thief was. The thief? The overseer. Let him be. You don't mean... Yes, of course. It was that dainty Englishwoman. Miss Jezebel Brett. She's done it before. That's why I decided to join the little group of people going to the seaside. Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me as if she knew she was untouchable. And it was you who stole the poison. Well now, whatever do you mean? And then, she suddenly got to her feet, before falling to her knees in front of me and then collapsing on the floor. That's when I saw the knife in her back. I couldn't understand what had just happened. And then, a moment later, I was seized with fear. The pupils of her eyes had shrunk to tiny pinpoints. Alrighty, Ash. I don't believe it. In other words, you realized that the victim was suffering the effects of the stolen poison. My mind started racing. I hadn't seen anything past Miss Brett's lips while I'd been with her, which left only one possible way for the poison to have entered her body, on the blade of the knife in her back. And that train of thought was what spurred you to withdraw the blade. Yes, if the amount that had entered her bloodstream was small enough, she might still have a chance. That's what I hoped. Really, Ah! I'm so sorry for staying silent all this time! Your attempt to hide the truth of what happened is not something that can be overlooked. However, I have duly noted the courage which you confessed in the end. Thank you. Your Excellency, stop smacking your head on the desk! It's barely perceivable, but I do think the balance has shifted a little here, in this courtroom now.
Objection!
Ray, please. Your Excellency, do not be deceived. The victim just collapsed before your eyes, you say. Well, Namabi-san, if that is the case, perhaps you could explain how Miss Brett came to be stabbed. Well, you have no answer because the simple truth is that you stabbed the victim.
Objection!
But you have no conclusive evidence to prove that assertion, do you? Oh, I have evidence. It is very much conclusive. What is the prosecution counsel up to? It was brief, but he hesitated for a moment there. I'm almost sure of it. You will produce the aforementioned evidence at once, Prosecutor Alchi. Perhaps some praise is due, young yokel student. What? I had imagined there would be no need for me to submit this evidence. But you've brought this upon yourself. Wait, how did you get that picture? Wait a minute. If there was no one else in the vicinity, how would you have gotten that picture? Unless it was the person who stabbed her. That's just the face of someone who's focused. Because you need to pull the blade out straight. If you want to stop it from being overly bleeding, you have to pull it out exactly straight so that it doesn't cause any more cuts. So the face she's making, and the reason she has both hands on it, is to balance the blade so she can pull it out straight up without causing any more damage. But you're all gonna take it as fucking nonsense. For it shows the precise moment and the Mami-san plunged her dagger into the victim's back. No, that's not true. Calm down, Jelly. I don't believe it. We're not gonna question how we got that picture. Order. Yes, probably. Perhaps his voice is yet to break. These yokels are slow of mind and slow to mature. I'll show you who's slow to mature. I know how to predict what's happening. Careful with that so you don't cut yourself. Careful now. Susato is starting to show her face here. It's often said that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and here we have ample proof. It's going to take 5 hours before the characters realize this, exactly. The court will accept this extremely cogent photographic print as evidence. I can't believe he's had a photograph like that up his sleeve the entire time. But where did he get it? It's such a stark image, I'm generally lost for words. Wait a minute, I don't understand. How did you... I mean, who took that photograph? Ray.
Objection!
That's no importance. That is of importance. Don't fucking start your shit.
Objection!
That's an absurd thing to say. It's crucially important. Whoever took this photographic print was a witness to Miss Brett's death. The court must be allowed to hear this person's testimony. Fuck him up! I will uphold the defense's demand. Yeah, because literally you said no one else was there. You can't do that. The prosecution will reveal the identity of the person responsible for taking this photograph at once. Well, I'm afraid I can't do that. What? Pardon the fuck out of you? You see, this print arrived at the Imperial Police Bureau headquarters by express post yesterday, but there was nothing to indicate the sender's name or address. Yeah, because that's not fucking suspicious. He literally only used this evidence because he knew he was losing. So you're gonna use illegally obtained evidence. If you did that now... Stop, Jelly. That's not being nice. It would get tossed out in a courtroom now because it's illegally obtained. It just gets mailed to you. That's not a legal way of getting the evidence. Goodness. Are we to understand then, counsel, that in full knowledge of the fact that this photograph has the murkiest of origins, you nevertheless believe it fit for submission as evidence in the Supreme Court? When you first produced that print before, I noticed that you hesitated for a brief moment, because you knew that it wasn't completely reliable evidence, didn't you? What matters is, the blatant truth in this print is so eloquently expresses. But the defendant has already admitted to pulling the blade from the wound. Clearly this isn't the moment the knife was plunged in the victim's back, but the moment it was withdrawn. Don't waste this court's time with your ramblings. Indeed, without knowledge of who produced this print, we have no means of verifying the claim. And the scene it captures is without a doubt the most compelling evidence presented to the court. If the defense is unable to shed any further light on the matter, I believe the conclusion is clear. Oh no. Susato, this is the time for you to fight. If what you've established so far is true, then there can be no doubt. This photograph shows the moment that Ray withdrew the blade from the victim. And whoever took the photograph is the person who actually did the stabbing! We just need to prove that somehow. And to rue the day you came up against Takasuchi Aochi in a court of law. If I can't determine who took this photograph, then the trial is going to come to an end. There must be a clue somewhere. There must be a way of working out who took it. There must be a way of working out who took it. Let me look at it. Well, he was through the reeds. Okay, so he's through... That's the opening of the door. Over back behind them. So this person is in the dress! I told you guys! I said in the other thing, I was like, I bet you someone's hiding in the motherfucking dress. Someone's hiding in the fucking dress. I fucking called it! Is there a reflection? I can't tell if that's blood or a reflection. I think it might be blood. Maybe this is what it is, because if the blood's on this part of the blade, this would become from pulling it out. I was hoping we could tell who by a... but it was asking who. I don't think there's anywhere to show who. Let me look at the other one. So yeah, they took the picture from inside the dress. They moved back the skirts to take the picture. So this is where the picture was taken. Can you see? What's this? That kind of looks like a foot, but I can't tell for certain. I don't think there's anything that reflects enough. But he for sure, whoever it is, definitely took a picture from inside the dress, like I said in the very beginning of the trial. It's burning questions, who took the photograph? And the truth is, should I say I have the answer? Because I don't have the answer. I mean, it's whoever took the poison. So I have an answer, I just don't have a name. This isn't about whether I can or can't come up with the answer now. I simply have to. The identity of the person who took this dramatic photographic print is, I assure you, something the defense can and will reveal. What? No, you can't possibly. But, as you so boldly claim that you can, please, do enlighten us. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna take this off. My shoulder hurting. The sleeves are really tight on this. Even when I get larger size clothes, they never fit. My arms got too big from carrying baby. Unfortunately, I'm unable to present a name. How utterly underwhelming. Did you really believe you could? However, I am able to present evidence. The defense has a piece of evidence that reveals important details about the photographer's identity. Do I? Very well then, counsel. Present your proof to the court. It has to be the pen, right? Because the pen has initials on it. But the emblem on the bottom of the pen isn't something that she would have had. I want to say it's the pen. It's definitely whoever stole the poison. But why else would she be gripping the pen? Going with the pen.
Take that!
The piece of evidence in question is this. I'm afraid, counsel, that the evidence for those wide, nervous eyes. Oh no. Did I get it wrong? Oh no. It's not the pen? Oh, come on! 100% should have been the pen. Is it the poison article then?
Take that!
Nope, not that either. No. Okay. I'll just keep doing it till I get it right. What? It can't just be the picture that we just did, right?
Take that!
Okay. The other picture? Do I not have the evidence? I'm very confused. It's not cheating if the game lets you do it. All I have?
Take that!
Okay, it's not that one either. This one was hard. So it's just the main... If it's not any of them, I'm gonna be very confused.
Take that!
Okay. The newspaper again. Not the headline that's relevant here, Your Excellency. It's the photograph. If you look at it closely... Oh! This me being dumb. Okay, that's me being dumb. It's fine. That was definitely me not looking at photos and comparing them. Congrats! No. There are no trees growing inside my laboratory at the university, I can assure you. Now, if you look closely at this photograph. Good gracious, did this say I got the same thing? Yes, exactly the same pattern of lines is present on this photograph, too.
Objection!
Would it be from the lens being broken? It tells us nothing. It tells us it's the same photographer. No. There wouldn't be any trees growing inside a hut at the beach council. What's quite remarkable about it is the two patterns are absolutely identical. How could such an extraordinary similarity have inspired? Curious matching pattern that appears on both photographic prints is a result of camera defect. Lens must be broken. Obviously it must be due to a problem with the camera used to take the photographs. With the photographic device? Yes. We can confidently say that the camera's lens must be scratched. The scratched lens causes unwanted lines to appear on every print taken with the device. In short, two photographs are under consideration here, but taken with the same camera. But there must be hundreds of such camera devices here in the capital. It would be utterly impossible to identify the owner of this particular one. No, it wouldn't.
Objection!
If it's in a newspaper, they have to know. I think you're forgetting, Prosecutor Achi, that one of the photographs featured in a newspaper article. Yeah, they have to know who they got their pictures from. That's right. The author of that article is the mystery witness to this crime. Oh, does the authors also take the pictures? What? What is happening? My god, what is happening? What are you yelling about? You already testified! Ah, wrong button. Memo, I tell you. Memo. Memo. Thank you for the name 3 times. Stop, Joe. Soseki-san. What was that? Did you say? Memo? God, the names. Hi, Jack it alone, baby. Sit on your stuff, I'm sorry. I'm sorry! Ever since I returned to Japan, a reporter from the Shohu News has been hounding me, following my every move. A reporter by the name of Rotten? Memo. Yes, hounding me from dawn till dusk. Ah, now that he mentions it. That guy. And that fits the initials. RM. Now the pen's important. A camera to the left of him, a notebook to the right. There I am, stuck in the middle with rotten Mini Mimo. So you're saying that this picture was taken by... Yes, we get it. God, Jesus. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. I want this knife, the murder weapon, examined for traces of poison. You will solicit the assistance of the Imperial University's medical department for the task. Understood? Uneventful. I like that it still started off with Susato instead of Ryunosuke. This is actually a good spot to stop. Part 1, which is interesting. Usually when they take a break, it's part 2. Whatever. Alright. I'm gonna leave it here because my voice is already giving out on me. I'll be back Sunday with a writing stream. And Monday with Final Fantasy. So bye guys. Take care.